often feel like a lone warrior in your entrepreneurial journey? Are you craving community of like-minded women to share in your dreams and your struggles? Have you ever considered the power of accountability or mentorship so that you can be more successful? Welcome to Live Fearlessly Free. I'm your courageous coach, Heather Bunch, and I am here to help you, Christian women entrepreneurs, go from feeling stuck, not enough, and fearful to taking focused, confident action and courageously growing yourself so you can grow your business. We're continuing our series on talking about dreams. Now, in the last two episodes, we've actually been discussing what is keeping us from our dreams. Now, today, I want to share a powerful way that will help you achieve your dreams or even get you unstuck if you're still back stuck with your butts sitting on your dreams. If you missed that episode, that was our last episode, episode 330. So today's going to be for you if you're ready to build a supportive network centered on shared faith and dreams. And if you're tired of feeling isolated, lonely, the lone wolf, I'm going to show you how to cultivate connections that really can propel you forward. And if you desire a deep sense of community or accountability, I'm going to help you discover those steps in this episode. I have got you covered, my friend. So today in Live Fearlessly Free, we are exploring how to build our dream support system, because every dream needs support. Just like a house has a foundation, has supports, a bridge has pillars that help hold it up. We as entrepreneurs need support in walking out our dreams and doing what God has called us to do. And that support is people. We need people. We were not designed to do this journey alone. We're designed to work and live in community. I always love Ecclesiastes 4:9, and it says, two are better than one because they have a good reward for their labor. We were meant to live together. We even look at the early church. They went from house to house breaking bread. They hung out together. They stuck it out together. They're doing this new thing called Christianity that was unheard of at that point. But Jesus had come on the scene, and now they are Christ followers. But they didn't do it alone. You know, Paul would even write letters. So how we got a lot of our New Testament letters to people that were pastors in the church or other members in the church to encourage them. He mentored them. And we can see that they needed each other. And today, we're the same. We need one another. Engaging with a supportive network can help us actually realize our entrepreneurial dreams and our life dreams. Why? People. Our people can see things in us that we do not see in ourselves. Now, that can be good, and they can also see the good, the bad, and the ugly. And what I love is our people hold space for us while we grow into our best selves. People also know people. So they're able to present doors and open doors for us that we couldn't see for ourselves and we couldn't even open for ourselves just because we're in proximity to them. And you get to do the same for your people. It's a win-win. It's synergy. It's working together. And we are better together than we are apart. I love Jim Rohn's quote, and it says, each of us needs all of us, and all of us needs each of us. We need one another. We cannot do this journey alone. When I first started this entrepreneurial journey, I felt alone. I'm sitting in a coffee shop by myself, writing blogs, alone, like week after week after week. And it got lonely, and I got tired, of a couple people reading it, and I didn't feel like it was making a difference. And, every now and then I would not do a week. I'd skip a week. And, nobody really noticed. Nobody really said anything. Oh, Heather, I noticed you didn't have a blog this week. Yeah, none of that. And as time went on, I would skip more weeks, and I got more inconsistent. And if it were not for me finding a community, I probably would have just given up altogether. But it was in that point I was sharing with my husband, I still feel incomplete. I still feel like I'm not, I don't want to say doing enough, although that really was a struggle for me, but I didn't feel like it was making a difference. And so that is when Bob introduced me to Lisa Jenkins. And that is how I got introduced to coaching, because Bob was like, hey, I think you'd make a great life coach. And so Lisa took me under her wing. She taught me take action coaching. I got certified, and I started my life coach journey. And as time went on, I was introduced to more people. I was writing classes for church for women's, and I wrote a class, a joy-filled life class, and I remember talking with Pastor Amy Nunn, and she's a coach now too. She's incredible, certified in DISC, and really focuses in on leadership and church leadership especially. But I was sharing with her, because we were all still, I was still working full-time at a church at the time, and what my dream was, and what I really wanted to do. And that's when that opportunity for me to start teaching in classes. And as I'm going along, I get a call from her one day, and she was like, hey, I need to introduce you to Lethea Owens. She is starting a brand new group for Christian women entrepreneurs who want to mix their faith and their business, and she needs somebody to write Bible studies. Voila! Doors opening. I couldn't even saw for myself. And so I have lunch with Lethea. She shares me the vision of Audacious Faith. And boom, I knew that is where I needed to be. And so I joined Audacious Faith. I'm one of their covenant partners. So I'm volunteering, for free. I'm writing content. I'm working on a Bible study. And I am grow so much from being in that community. And I'm not going to go into it, but I had a whole thing from fear where I fainted at a retreat with Lethea and all the women of, covenant partners of Audacious Faith. And it was pretty darn ugly, I'm just going to tell you. And it was fear from intimidation. And I fainted. And instead of rejecting me, these women came around me and were there for me and loved me and held space for me and said, Heather, there is something greater in you. I can see it. And they saw in me greatness that I couldn't see in myself at the time. I would not be where I am today without these beautiful women. And now I actually get the honor to co-lead Women of Audacious Faith with Lethea. That would not have happened had I not fully gone in on community, on creating this dream support system. I have accountability partners that I meet with on a regular basis that hold me accountable to my dreams, that show me things in me that I can't see in myself. Both things that I need to strip away and things that, Heather, there's so much more in you that you just got to let out. And I do not know where I would be without these incredible, beautiful people. So I want to give you 3 steps right now so that you can create a dream support system. If you do not already have people, or maybe you've only got like one person, but you're feeling lonely, my friend, you need this. The first step is you need to identify dream allies. You need to look for people. The Bible talks about if you want a friend, you got to show yourself friendly. You got to look. They don't just show up necessarily in your lap. The reason Amy connected with me and connected me with Lethea is because I had a conversation with her about what I wanted to do and where I was going. So she knew, oh, I need to get Heather connected with Lethea because they're going the same way. So you got to speak up. You got to look for people. Find potential mentors. Maybe it's someone you need a mentor. Like Lethea mentored me and coached me. Maybe it's mentees. Those are people that you need to help and bring up because there's things in you that you need to share with others. And you also need peers. You need people that are side by side, doing the same thing, that are right along with you, that you can all give each other guidance, support, and encouragement. You got to identify those people. So look around you. If you're in a small group or you're not in a small group, hey, go get in a small group. Go be a part of masterminds or networking groups. Find places. Look, if you are in any kind of city type environment, there's no shortage of networking groups. And here's the great thing. Even if you're out in the sticks, like my friend Becky Mitchell, there are still networking groups virtually that you can be a part of. That's what I love about the world that we live in now, that we are not bound by just our location. Now, look, I love being in person more than anybody else because, like, I get juice from that. Not everybody does. Some people, the screen in between is a great safe place to start. So, but you got to identify people. So find people that when you're talking with them, you just kind of connect with. Like there's something in you that goes, oh, I like this person. I think I would like to hang out with them. Or they spark something in you that, that you're like, oh, I never saw that in myself before. And they challenge you in some way. Like you got to find people that are your people. I remember my son, when he was in the 6th grade, he really struggled, and he had a lot of people that bullied him and made fun of him. He's just not that academic, all right? And so people would actually call him stupid, not teachers, thank God. He has great teachers, but kids would. You know how kids are. They're jerks sometimes. They're still figuring themselves out, so that's why they show up like that. They're making themselves feel better by hurting other people. If you have adults in your life still doing that, just so you know, that's what's going on. That's their own insecurity. So, total side note. However, I remember telling my son, I'm like, Evan, I don't know when, I don't know how, but you're going to find your people. This year in 10th grade, he joined a band. Now, my son had never done music before in his life other than like recorder. Remember, did y'all have to do the recorder? I love the recorder. They still do it. My kids are still learning the recorder in like 4th and 5th grade. They've got recorder class in music. And I'm like, hey man, that's awesome. I love it. But other than that, Evan has never done music. And so last February, he was playing around with a friend who had a drum set in his basement. He was playing guitar. And so Evan jumps on the drums and just starts jamming and is like, this is cool. I like this. So he starts teaching himself drums. And then decides, I want to be a part of the jazz band. And so I'm like, all right, bud, if you want to do that, go find out. So he had to go find the people. I made him go talk to the band instructor, and he got everything worked out with the counselor and got all the class things worked out. And he joined band. And so he was doing marching band at first. Now he's actually is in jazz band. He's super stoked about that. But I'm picking him up from a late night practice one time, and he gets in the car and he's like, Mom, I found my people. Do you know what that did for Mama's heart? I found my people. God wants that for you. God did the same for me. He did the same for my son. He's no respecter of persons. God wants people for you to bond with, to be your family, to be your people. But you got to go identify them. Evan had to pursue that. I had to go do the coffee with Letha. I had to say yes to the opportunity, and I had to get in there and be a part of it. So you got to identify your dream allies. Next, you got to build meaningful connections. So you don't go from, hey, I think that might be a good person I'd love to, be an accountability partner with or be mentored by them. They could be a peer, to like, we're best buddies now. Like my second grader did that, right? They'd be like, I went to, VBS and like, they're my best friend. And they like hung out for an hour a day for a week and they're best buddies, right? As adults, we don't do that. It takes time. So you have got to nurture the relationships, okay? But what I love is as you're nurturing relationships, and you can start with a coffee, right? Get to know somebody. And as you do that, then you can start, hey, would you like to do another coffee? I've done that. And then it can turn into something deeper. But you can do regular check-ins. You can share resources. You can pray with one another. You can share wins. You can share learns, which really are, might be like failures, but they're not really failures if you learn from them. So we just keep moving forward. But you build meaningful connections by helping one another, by encouraging one another, by being there for each other. A lot of times I'll sit here and I will pray and I'm like, okay, God, who do I need to text? Who do I need to connect with? And I just have names come to my heart and I just write them down. And before I text anybody, I will pray for that specific person and I will listen. And I'm like, is there anything specific I need to share with this person? And I will text them and I will share what comes out of my heart. And many times when what I share, they're like, oh my gosh, I needed that today. You build meaningful connections by connecting. So get those connection points. Pray with one another. Check in. Share wins. Text them. Share resources. Hey, there's this webinar I'm going to be on and it looks really good. It's a topic that I know you've been studying or you want to know more of. Send them the link, right? I was connecting with someone yesterday that was looking for a system for their CRM and their funnels and, all of that tech side of the business. So I was sharing with her the system that I use is a mastermind hub. That's Tony and Robbins and Dean Graziosi. And so she was asking me questions. What do you think of it? How is it? And I would just share things of what I love and how much it costs and things like that. I shared a link with her, because she's looking for something. That's a resource you can share with people, right? A book that you're sharing. Like all of these things help you build connections with people. Go to events. Do things so that you can connect with one another. Have coffees. Do virtual calls. Do phone calls. Text people. Build meaningful connections. And the third thing is this: create accountability. Once you're building these meaningful connections, and you can start going a bit deeper. You can start going into accountability. So you can actually, establish a system and a way for you guys to really help hold each other accountable to your goals. So you can foster growth. You can foster achievement. You can foster your relationship with your heavenly Father, because we encourage one another even in our spiritual life. We don't just talk about business. We talk about life. I get on a call with an incredible businesswoman, LaDawn Townsend. We get on twice a month. We ask each other questions. We share what we're going through. We pray with one another. We're believing God with one another that we would hit our goals and the struggles and wisdom and clarity and all the things. you know, something else you could do something like working pods. Say you have a struggle with like, I set aside time, but I don't actually do the thing I say I'm going to do. So what if you set aside time where you're like, hey, let's get on a call from 12 to 2 and work on our project. Like it's not a time to talk, but you just know there's somebody there that's waiting on you because they know you want to work on that project. And you know they want to work on their project. And so you can create like working pods to do that. I actually do that in my Courageous Club. We call them Courageous Sprints. And so we're going to have one tomorrow, in fact, where the gals get on the call. We tell what we're going to work on. I put them into separate breakout rooms. We go work on what we're working on. We come back. We share our wins. We're like, hey, this is what I accomplished. This is what I did. But it holds us accountable to do the thing to move our business forward, to hit our goals, to launch the thing, to send out the emails, to, whatever it is that we need to do. It creates accountability. You could text one another what you're working on. So I do this with my husband. We'll text each other, hey, here's 3 wins I had, and here's 3 things I'm going to do tomorrow. And so we literally text that to each other, and that holds us accountable. You could do that with another friend, or you could do that with an accountability partner, or you could do it. You could do group texts where, you have a group of business women that you do this with. But that creates accountability so you could do what God has called you to do. We were not called to do this alone. This is too big for one person. Each of us needs all of us, and all of us needs each of us. I know I said that, the Jim Rohn quote, but is so true. There are things in my friends and my accountability partners and my people that I need in order to do what God's called me to do. There's strategies, there's encouragement, there's mindset shifts, and they hold space for me. And I get to do the same for them. And you need that, my friend, in order to fulfill your dreams. So, to recap, you got to identify your dream allies for your support system. Who are they? Go find them, right? Then you're going to build meaningful connections. So you're going to start the coffees, you're going to do the check-ins, share resources, pray with one another, wins and learns, so that you can grow deeper, and then you can create accountability. So then you've got those people, you're asking each other the hard questions. You could create working pods, you could text one another, but like helping hold each other accountable to goals and our growth. How are you growing spiritually? What can I pray for you about? Like, what's going on in your life that we can support one another? We need this, my friends. So, courageous action steps. I want you to identify 3 people in your circle that you can contact this week to see if they could be part of your dream support system. It may be that they're all you contact individually and you create accountability through that. Or maybe if y'all know each other or not know each other, like I've had ones where, someone brought in someone new and now I get to know new people. And I love that. So identify 3 people and then invite them to a coffee or a virtual meeting to talk about the potential of being a support to one another on your entrepreneurial journey. So like get it going and then start building those meaningful relationships. Okay. And then you can build the accountability from there. But that's where you got to start. You got to first identify and then start that process by inviting them to coffee or a virtual meeting. Now, if you don't have somebody, like you're looking in your circle and you're like, I don't know. I ain't got nobody. You got to go look. So start going to some networking events. So there's tons of local ones. There's ones that you can jump on virtually. Be a part of an organization. If you're a speaker, go be a part of NSA. If There's different guilds that you can be a part of. So depending on what your focus is, you can focus on that one area. We have Women of Audacious Faith. That's a community we meet the first Friday of every month, 12 to 2 Central Time or 1 to 3 Eastern Time on Fridays. So we call it the First Friday Gathering. And we have a free Facebook group you can be a part of. And we get on this call and we talk on our faith and our business, and we grow together. And that's free. You can get to know people there. I'm going to be opening the doors to my Courageous Club again soon, where I'm going to let new members in. That is a paid community where you can do your courageous sprints. We're going to grow you as a person so that you can grow your business. You can overcome the fear. You can be focused. You can take courageous, confident action. We're going to learn all the steps. So if that's something you're interested in, you can email me at hello@heatherbunch.com, or you can DM me on Instagram or in Facebook. So those are ways that you, my friend, can create a dream support system, enlisting allies on your journey. I just want to thank you so much, my friends, for listening or watching, right? Because you can watch this now. So listening or watching, I just want to tell you that you have got this, and Father has got you. So until next time, live fearlessly free.